Hello, it's Mama Jane here, and this is
Mama Jane's husband.
That's right. So, well, what are we going to tell you about today? We did ought to point out that, and I keep meaning to say this, that on every one of these videos, these are only our views and opinions. So please take them. You know what I mean? You're supposed to say that, aren't you?
Yeah, you are, I suppose. Yeah.
So if you think we're talking rubbish, well, you could well be right, but it's what we think. So there you go. Anyway, moving on.
But we're usually right. So there.
Off you go then, Mama Jane's husband.
Well, we're still on Aurora. They've not kicked us off for our opinions. We've done the first half of our cruise. And so we've been to Iceland and with Mama Jane.
Oh.
And well, what an amazing experience, I can say. But this video is not about Iceland and about our experience. No. It's actually about what it's like for 11 days on the P&O Aurora at the moment.
It is, yeah.
And to see how we've been doing.
Yeah.
But it must be said that Iceland is a place like no other. And if you get a chance to go to Iceland, then I'd strongly recommend it. Now, we will do a video about all the places we've been in. I will do several videos, in fact, about all the places we've been in Iceland. But given the ongoing controversy about sailing in COVID and all the changes and stuff, we thought we'd give you our experiences and our views after 11 days on board Aurora. So...
Right, well, COVID, you see, it's here forever. Let's
fact of life.
It's a fact of life.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, when you're on a ship, you're in a small space, and if you had the same number of people in the general population, you'd probably have just as much COVID, if not more. So it's really tricky because shipping companies, this is P&O, this belongs to, they have got to answer to what they're doing, and it sometimes seems a bit extreme and a little bit, you can't quite follow the reasoning. Now, there are some cases, we don't know how many, they've said a few, and certainly it doesn't seem to be anything like it was when we were with Cunard, does it?
Well, P&O aren't testing on board.
No.
Hallelujah, amen, is all I can say.
Because
most people, like was I, are symptomless when you test positive.
Yeah.
So, you know, everybody's wasting time and money by quarantining us.
Yeah.
So there's a few cases on board. I don't know how they know. People must have felt unwell and gone to the medical centre.
And that's fair enough. If you're feeling unwell, then go and be tested. But if you're not feeling unwell, why keep testing everybody? Anyway, so that can be, so the thing now is we must wear masks all the time. We didn't have to when we came on, first of all. It was, how did they put it?
You could if you wanted.
You could if you wanted wear a mask. Now you have to wear a mask when you are in any public areas, unless you're eating and drinking. If you're on the tenders going from the ship to the shore, if it's a small port, if you're on a tour bus, you must wear a mask. In the theatre, we've just come back from the theatre, and you must wear a mask. And you know, that's life. And if you do not want to be part of that chance, then don't go cruising, because, you know, if you don't like the rules, don't join the club. And that's how it is at the minute, isn't it? So, one thing that does seem a bit odd is that if you're in if you've got a regular table in the dining room, right, or
doesn't need to be
it doesn't
regular.
have to be regular, does it?
If you've sat next to somebody who's tested positive for COVID, you get stuck in quarantine
for 5 days. Well, unless you prove positive.
Yeah, which you mean in for longer.
Now, that's because they can trace who sat where in the main dining room. Now, when you're in the buffet, they can't trace you. When you're in the theatre, they can't trace you.
They could if they wanted to. If they gave you seat numbers, they could do that.
But they haven't, and they don't. And so it's all a bit, that's a bit weird. So
they could if you're on a bus and somebody tests positive.
Yeah.
But they don't.
No.
Well, please Lord,
they don't.
So we've actually made the decision not to use the main dining room, which is disappointing, really.
It's a bit disappointing, but having said that, the food in the buffet, when I say buffet, it's not like you go to somebody's wedding or funeral and it's bits and pieces. No, it's proper food, and it's There's so much choice. In fact, did I only say today that? Sorry about that. We overheard a young woman say, "Oh, I don't like anything," and I thought, "Well, my dear, what do you want?" Because there was so much choice that I just couldn't understand. And you can make it into any weird combination you like. You know, it's so really, yeah.
So every cruise, I think, has its own dynamics, and I think this is cruise number 9 for us. And I would say every cruise has been different, and we've done some cruises we've been to the main dining room nearly every night. Some cruises we've had a mix of buffet and main dining room, and we were already going to the main dining room less on this cruise, just because the timings and the dynamics and the flow of the cruise meant that we were using the buffet more.
Yeah.
So we've only been to the main dining room twice, and we had one experience which was all right because the waiter was a bit off, and never mind. And then the second experience, the waiter was absolutely brilliant.
Amazing.
And we had a fantabby-gibby-dobby time. And in fact, the meal was done by, what's his name?
Marco Pierre White.
Yeah.
He'd not cooked it, but he does have connections with P&O.
Yeah.
And
He'd done the menu,
yeah,
and he'd trained the chefs to cook it.
and in fact, we have seen him on P&O doing a cookery demonstration.
And I have to say, it's one of the best meals I've ever had on a cruise ship. It was fantastic. So disappointed that we've decided not to go back to the main dining room again. But the buffet food has been very, very good.
Very good.
And
it is more flexible. It means that the timing is yours. You know, if you want, you can go and have your dinner and then go and see a show and then go and have your pudding. You know, it's very flexible. And because there is so much to see in an evening, it means you don't have to miss anything. You know, you can see everything.
I know. So we're quite happy with the food, really. So I would say that they're doing a very good job with the food.
Good.
I would say it's perhaps not as exotic as it was pre-COVID, but that's down to the supply chain issue. So I would say that
I don't agree.
I would say it's very British, the food. You can almost guarantee that you'll have a raw. If you go to the buffet,
there's always a roast.
There's always a roast. There's always fish. There's always something.
Chicken, steak.
There's always something either Chinese or Indian or Thai. Is it Thai?
Thai.
Thai. It's one of those words I can never say. So there's always a really good selection, and you can mix
salads. Every kind of salad you can want. Every kind of fruit you could want.
Lots of puddings.
And
I would say that the few letdowns we've had food-wise on the cruise have all been puddings. I would say some puddings have been okay. Some have not been that great at all. And Yorkshire puddings, well, they couldn't cook a Yorkshire pudding to save their life.
They look fabulous. They're these humongous, beautiful Yorkshire puddings, but I'm not quite sure that
very dry.
But then again, if you're cooking so many Yorkshire puddings, it's not.
And bread and butter pudding.
Yes, bread and butter pudding. That was a bit of a disappointment, but
there you are.
Yeah.
Such is life. So
first world problems.
First world problems. And entertainment has been excellent, hasn't it?
Very good.
The ship's company, the headliners as they're called, well, they are fabberoonie. Because sometimes when you have the ship's company, some of the singers, well, they're better dancers than they're singers, or sometimes they're better singers than they're dancers. Whereas they're excellent. This group are amongst the best I've seen on a cruise ship, as doing the types of shows that they do. The one thing I would say is the other night they tried to do something, and I know there's a disagreement coming here. They tried to do a mini Les Miserables. Now, in my view, they failed miserably because they didn't do justice to the songs. And I was very disappointed because they just couldn't sing the songs. It was as simple as that. Their voices were not up to singing the songs in Les Miserables. And that's just my opinion. Now, she here, who must be obeyed, I think has a different view.
I do have a different view, because I think you've got to forget, you've got to forget that you've seen the big productions of Les Mis. You're only ever going to see that on a big production or on a film, you know. But you know, I thought they were very good for what they were.
I thought it was embarrassing myself.
No, it wasn't.
It was embarrassing because they were just it was they just couldn't sing the songs. You know, they shouldn't have attempted it.
We agree to differ.
We don't agree to differ on this. Is they shouldn't. The other songs that people should think twice about doing is Shirley Bassey. Okay. A very tricky singer to
leave
sing.
It to Shirley Bassey.
Yeah, leave it Shirley Bassey songs to Shirley Bassey. What's she called? She's a very modern singer.
Adele.
Adele. In the main, not a good idea to sing an Adele song. Adele has got a unique voice. Very difficult to sing some of her songs, and it doesn't work that well.
We have seen an Adele tribute once on a cruise, and she was very good because she was sounding like Adele.
Yeah.
But don't use your own voice to sing Adele songs.
No, and Kate Bush, again, another unique.
Yeah.
I've seen that go really bad.
Yeah, but what we did see last night. Now I'm always a bit anxious with tribute bands. You know, sometimes you think, you're a bit embarrassing. But last night we saw a Simon and Garfunkel tribute band. In fact, we saw them twice.
We went back.
We went back for the second show because they were so good. Yeah. And they talked about Simon and Garfunkel and how they'd come to fame and one thing and another. And they were just sounded like, they didn't look anything like Simon and Garfunkel, but they just sounded.
And the guy we saw tonight, we saw him for the second time tonight, Simon Bayliss.
Simon Bayliss.
Oh, what a voice. And such variety.
Apparently well known around Preston. I don't know if you live in Preston, but he's well known.
We really liked him, didn't we? So entertainment's been pretty good. In fact, the biggest problems we've had with entertainment has been with the sound and the light boys. Yeah. Often too loud, often too much reverb, and some of the lighting cues have been right off. Sometimes we've had people move to the front of the stage and been absolute darkness.
But generally speaking, the lighting and the sound are very, very good. It's not easy, you know. These acts are different every sailing, every cruise. The band that play to back people, they're superb. So you know, we are nitpicking when we say, you know, this, but we're just saying what we found.
The band, whether it's in Carmen, which is Pulse, they're very good. The backing band called Pulse, excellent. And then there's a band in Curzon, which is the main theatre,
called the Aurora
band, and they're excellent.
Yeah, they're just excellent.
So excellent musicians.
Yeah.
So a couple of other things, I suppose. The best kept secret on Aurora is a place called Raffles, and Raffles is where you can go to pay for specialty coffees and non-alcoholic drinks. So they've got a Costa branding machine there, although I have to say the coffee's better than you get in
a real Costa.
In real Costa. And also the service is much better than you get in a Costa on the mainland. So you know, mainland Costa could learn a lot from P&O Costa. But the best kept secret is the cakes and the sandwiches that are in Raffles are free. They're included in your cruise fare because.
So they're not free. See, I get cross when people say things are free. They're not free. You've paid for all the food on the cruise. Yeah.
So it's included
in
your
not
cruise
free.
fare because it's what's up in main dining room. So, whereas I've seen in other cruises that even though it's same stuff as in main dining room, because it's in a specialty coffee shop, they charge you for it. So, big tip to P&O for that. Hot tubs is my biggest gripe
Oh, yeah.
because there's 5 hot tubs on board. One is permanently out of action. 2 of them are cold, so there's only 2 functional hot tubs on the ship, and that's really disappointing. So, well, I think that might be it for now. What do you think, Mama Jane?
I think that's it. We've rambled on a bit.
Yeah, we're doing all right, aren't we? We're having a good old time.
We're having a lovely time.
Yeah, we're having a right good time.
Yeah.
And it's a goodbye from Mama Jane's husband, and it's a goodbye from
Mama Jane. Bye.
Bye.